looks like you've been going hard.
Yes, sir. Haven't practiced like that in a long time.
How has it, been different, if at all? Can you compare, what these opening days of training camp were like under Quinn to how they are now under Will?
Well, a lot of it is obviously personnel based. We've had teams here that have a lot of vet guys on the team, guys who been through 10, 11 training camps, and when you have that, you have shorter practices. You get to stuff a little quicker and more condensed. But the younger you have, young legs you got, it's like an hour, 2 hours, 2.5. Like you just keep going and going, and so that's the biggest difference. And these guys, all of them have been really hungry. A lot of the guys for 11 o'clock practice were in here at like 8:39, and literally having to sit around for like another 45 minutes to wait for practice to start because guys are just so eager to get out there. So it's been a real competitive atmosphere, really fun to be a part of.
What have you seen out of Collin?
Collin's been great. I think obviously we know who he is as far as his aggression, his mentality on both ends of the floor. He picks up full court. He's not afraid to get after it and lose himself in the game. He's been real composed early. He's been able to make plays when he needs to and look for guys when he needs to. So he's been real impressive.
He mentioned you specifically walking him through some stuff and what you see versus what he sees. Who showed you that, Memphis?
I was lucky enough to have Damon Stoudemire when I first came in the league. Obviously, he was a smaller guard too, so lefty and everything. It was just perfect for me, and he helped me just slow the game down. Coming in young, you want to just go as fast as you can, because that's the only way as far as beating somebody is with athleticism. And this game is so much more than that. It's a mental game. A big portion of it is, and just trying to unlock that for him because we know what he's capable of doing with his legs and his athleticism.
Do you see it pretty quickly? I mean, do you see guys making the similar mistakes that you made?
Yeah, all the time. We're fighting them every day right now. So, and we can't expect it to change in a training camp or a day. It takes weeks sometimes. It might take half a season, a year. So it just has to become a habit, and all of us go through those growing pains.
How different is the style of play Will Hardy wants versus the style of play that you guys played last year?
Once again, I think a lot of it is like just personnel. Like adding Kelly and Lauri and the bigs, like getting rebounds and bringing it up, and they're essentially playing point forward sometimes in a lot of the actions that we play, and kind of a 5-out spacing with our bigs being more spaced at the wings and allowing guards to kind of have initial driving lanes to get to the rim and create man down situations. And it's a lot of movement, a lot of passing, just trying to create as much space as we can for our guys. Because we feel like we do have a lot of playmakers, a lot of guys who can get into positions to make scoring opportunities for themselves and other guys.
Offensively last year, obviously, you guys were a drop big team. Now with Kelly and whatnot, do you be more versatile? Do you run more switches of screens? I mean, kind of what's there?
The first couple of days, we've done a lot of switching early. We've done drop too, so both of them. I mean, we're going to probably have to do both depending on who's in the game or who we're guarding. But we're getting real familiar with the switching atmosphere and what we do off the ball, and trying to bump smaller guys out to, get bigger guys down low to match size. So,
are the screen actions the same for you with you guys playing 5-out compared to, you've been playing with Rudy for so long, and so has that been a little different for you personally?
It's different from what I'm accustomed to with Rudy. Very similar to what I'm accustomed to with Marc Gasol. So it's not. This isn't new to me, the offensive spacing and scheme. So I'm very familiar with having that kind of spacing and pick and rolls out of it. So it was new for me to have to learn with Rudy and creating space, specifically with what he's capable of doing for our team. So. It's been good to kind of have both, and figure it out again.
Are you starting to get a sense of some of the strengths, or just like things that the team will be able to do early on?
Well, yeah, I think it's so early, but it's still you see so much talent. There's a lot of young guys with so much talent. We just have to figure out how we're gonna just mesh it all together, and everybody's role will be defined at some point. Right now we have a lot of guys capable of doing a lot of things, and like I said, our bigs are capable of doing, creating a lot of different mismatches and things with what they're capable of doing. And like I said, Kelly, he reminds me of Gasol sometimes, how he gets the ball and, can throw a backdoor pass and, keep it himself and finish and make plays. And so it's just it's different. So it's going to be unique in that aspect, but we're excited to see how it all comes together.
What are some of the components of some of the other new guys that have stood out to you over these first couple of days?
We've got a lot of similar guys. I think Nikhil's really stood out a little bit to me with his ability to make plays and score and push the tempo. Obviously we talked about Collin. We can go down the line. I think Walker Kessler brings a dynamic that defensively he's leaps and bounds ahead of where a lot of young guys are at. I think he's capable of altering shots, blocking shots down low, and all these guys play with a urgency. Like they're fighting for jobs, they're fighting for opportunity, and that component is just it's fun to be around. It's a competitive nature regardless, because I know I've been there. I know what it's like to be in their shoes and have an opportunity like this where there is a lot to be had, and a lot of guys are taking advantage of it.
Is it unique for you to be on a roster where 90% of the guys are like fighting for something individually in their career? Because usually there's 2 or 3 guys, long-term contracts, don't really have a lot to prove.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem to be this way on this team.
Yeah, it's different for me. I'm used to being that 90%. In there fighting around, trying to get, jostle for positioning and stuff like that. So being, the guys kind of like over the top looking around and seeing everybody and just seeing how much they're pressing or stressing or just trying to be 100% right on everything. I've been just really trying to get in their ears and just calm them down and slow them down and let them understand that, you're not evaluated on whether you make a shot, miss a shot. It's all those things in between. That coach really, really likes. Are you playing hard? Are you picking up full court? Are you talking? Or all those things that can establish yourself as a player. And I tell all the guys like I was picking up full court these last 2 days, and they're like, oh, you can still slide your feet. I was like, that's how I got into the NBA. I was defense first. Like I didn't shoot. I didn't try to score. I was trying to get be in front of my man, get steals. Like that's how I stay on the court. So. It doesn't happen for you all at once, so it might take 2 or 3 years for you to now you can get a little bit more leash to go and shoot pull-ups and go and shoot mid-range and threes and floaters. So just allowing them to understand to be patient and that your games will all take strides at different times.
Talon seems really unique physically, just given kind of physiological dimensions. What have you seen kind of out of his game to this point, I guess, both from your years of playing against him in the league and now maybe more closely from these few days of being with?
I think he's super athletic. It's like sneaky. He's got long arms. He gets low to the ground with the way he plays and dribbles. He's very good with his footwork. I think he's one of our better scorers when it comes down to just trying to go get a bucket. He can go do it pretty much essentially on anybody. And defensively, I think he's shown a lot of him being like pesky with, like I said, his long arms. He can reach around. He can get deflections and just wreak havoc on that end as well if he just puts his mind to it. And I think he's really, really focused on that early on in training camp. In the last few weeks, we've had to prepare for it. So really anxious to see how he all comes together, because I know he's looking forward to this opportunity as well.